This car is like Toyota was trying to make pickles, and they didn't realize you're supposed to use vinegar, and they just put a bunch of cucumbers in water and let it sit for a few days, and they ended up with wet cucumbers. That's this car. This car is just wet cucumbers. You had to do it.
Yep, we had to do it.
You had to meme this stupid car.
I know. This is the Toyota Corolla, well, a 2017 Toyota Corolla LE edition, which we can only assume stands for low energy. This car is so average. It is the most average car probably that's ever been made in existence, which is why I talked about it and compare it a lot in the videos on Real Life Lore so much, because this is technically the most average car ever made. This is the most sold vehicle in world history across the world.
They sell, what, over 2,000 a day?
One person somewhere around the world buys one of these cars every 36 seconds.
Blasphemy.
But it's not the most sold vehicle in the United States.
Yeah.
It's actually the Ford F-150.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in Texas, and that's what you see. That's the thing.
Especially in Texas, that is definitely the most common thing you see.
Yeah. You get into this car and you're instantly bored.
It's like kind of the point of the car. Like,
yeah, it's people who buy these cars treat them like appliances. Like it's not an extension of your personality. It's not an expression of what you find cool in cars. It's just, this thing has 4 wheels and it's relatively quiet and it'll run forever and it'll get me to work and back.
Right.
That's it.
It's like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's like a refrigerator or a microwave or an oven.
It has one job to do and it does it decently.
It does it, like, I would say pretty well if you're talking about just getting from point A to point B. And it's also so reliable.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the Toyotas, is they will run for 10, 15 years, no problem.
Oh yeah, you can get this thing, you can pick one up for $19,000 brand new.
Yep.
And it's gonna last you over a decade. The thing that started the Toyota Corolla memes on Real Life Lore was, I didn't even think about it at the time. I never thought it would become how it became, basically. It is the most generic average car, and I think it's very easy for somebody to visualize a Toyota Corolla.
It's a good point of reference.
Yeah, it's a good reference point for comparing weights. I mean, like, this is what started the whole thing. Yeah. I made a video about water creatures, sea creatures, water animals. Yes, sea creatures. Comparing their weights in kilograms or pounds. Once it starts getting like to a very heavy point, it starts making less sense. So like a blue whale, for example, weighs 300,000 pounds.
Thick.
Which is a thick boy.
Yeah.
But that's hard to visualize, like thinking like 300,000 pounds. Like it's like hard to think of that in your head.
Yeah.
But if you then say that it actually weighs about a little over 100 of these, because it weighs about, I think, 104 Toyota Corollas, roughly. So if you say that, then you're like, oh, okay, you can visualize like 100 cars. And so it just kind of like stuck. Yeah. And people just started like memeing it. And now it's such a stupid meme, and I love it. Yeah. Every single video I post has people that bring up Toyota Corollas at some point. Every picture I post on Instagram brings up something about a Toyota Corolla.
Those even creep into other people's comments. It's everywhere.
It creeps into yours
all the time.
Our friend Sam, who runs
Mr. Wendover.
Mr. Wendover, and Half is Interesting. Yeah. I see all the time. He screenshots pictures of Toyota Corolla comments and sends them to me constantly.
You should make a book of those. You should just print them out and then publish a book just with Toyota Corolla comments.
I really should.
That'd be great.
That would be.
Let us know if you would buy that book.
Yeah, let me know if you would buy that book. I'll make it.
Nice coffee table book.
I will definitely make that book if there's enough interest in it. All right. So
3, 2, 1. Any second. Still going. Still floored. There it is.
There's 60.
Good gracious. That's really disheartening.
I know, it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's
we were saying we would lose this in a parking lot. You lose it while you're driving it. This is the most bland looking car.
Yeah, it's very, very plain looking and very simple looking. It has fake black
little vents
on the front of it.
It's like they're trying to be sporty. This is like the car that a worried mother gets her daughter. It's like, look, it's sporty. It's got vents. It's look at that. That's on those expensive cars. The interior, honestly, not much better.
Yeah, it's about the same. It's very bland.
Yeah. Build quality, like I'm tapping a lot of this stuff. It's all pretty cheap plastic. I mean, you get what you pay for at $19,000.
It's $19,000. You're not going to get anything crazy.
It doesn't feel like you're going to pull anything off it. Like the handle here is solid. The windowsill is solid, but it does look cheap. This is what I imagine Mr. Incredible was driving in the first Incredibles when he's just like all hunched over in traffic and miserable.
Yeah, no,
that's this car.
I can see that. You've got your climate controls and
I need to talk about
radio
these.
controls. It is a touch screen.
It is a touch screen,
so
which I actually hate.
Really?
Because if you go to audio and you go to sound, then you can adjust these things, but there's no feedback. There's no haptic feedback or anything. So I don't. Without looking, I have no idea where my settings are
or what it's even doing.
Or if I'm even hitting the button. Yeah. So I hate that.
You've got a couple USB ports.
That's handy. Which
is kind of handy, so you can charge phones and stuff.
It does have Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone. I will say I don't like how you cycle through your climate control stuff. You've just got this little lever that goes up and down. It's not a wheel that you turn to get to your right setting.
Yeah, I see that. That's interesting. However, I will say something I think that's kind of interesting just in terms of how cars have advanced is like if you look, because Toyota's been making these since the 1960s.
Yeah.
If you look at a Toyota Corolla from like the 1990s, like 20 years ago, and compare it to this, the interior differences especially are so different.
Yeah.
Like the interior of this is so much nicer. And relatively speaking, this costs about the same as one in the 90s would have cost.
Yeah, and that's partly because standards have gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you expect a certain level of comfort inside your car. But yeah, I mean, this is not, you can't really knock this for being uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable. It looks boring, but there's plenty of space.
Yeah, it's comfy.
There's plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom wherever you're sitting, including in the back.
Right, yeah.
And it'll get you where you're going.
I'd say it's really practical, and like the trunk space is pretty spacious too. We could fit probably like two of me. Probably two of JT could fit in the trunk.
One cool thing about being inside the trunk that most people won't know about their Corolla is there's a little safety latch in there that lights up green that says "pull it this way to escape." Basically, it doesn't say that.
I was going to say, does it really say that?
No, but if you're getting kidnapped in a Corolla, it'll be easy to get out.
What do you think of this? Because, okay, when I was doing the steering, it was really wobbly.
Yeah, like
you can feel it.
Right here, the car's not moving. I'm giving it a few degrees in either direction, and it's staying straight. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Going through this turn, a lot of body roll.
Yeah,
a lot.
Definitely.
Like, I wouldn't want to take it any faster than that.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fine. And the way this car is built discourages spirited driving.
It does. It makes you hesitant to drive fast, for sure. Do you actually know how much horsepower this has?
132.
That's actually, I mean...
It's more than you'd expect based on how fast this goes.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like a go-kart in that you know right where the limit is. Like, you're not going to go faster than, I don't know, 60 miles an hour.
I'd like to compare it to like the Dodge Viper, which in my opinion is the most frightening vehicle we've ever driven. That thing...
That wants to kill you.
Yeah, that thing, I felt like it was literally a murder machine trying to kill you, and you were like...
You're just along for the ride.
Yeah, you're like fighting against it, trying to not die.
Yeah. This one is the most complacent thing on Earth.
It's very peaceful. This is flooring it. There,
I feel nothing.
We got to 40.
I feel nothing. It's like, oh, you want to go somewhere? All right, give me a sec. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. Wait, 30.
30.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, we finally got there.
We did it. Cruising speed.
And I think what's interesting enough too is like at $19,000, there's a lot of cars that are competitively priced with this that I would argue are definitely better.
Yeah.
Stuff like the Subaru Impreza.
Oh yeah.
Is one example.
Focus.
Yeah, the Ford Focus is another one.
Any number of Kias.
I will say this though, that none of those would probably be as reliable as this. In the long term, those probably would be a little more expensive, which like, that's why I can see this car as being attractive to somebody who just wants a car to go back and forth from work or something.
Oh, totally. This is a great commuter car for the person who doesn't care about cars. It's like, just let me get in the car. I want it to work when I get in, and I want to go to work and back, and that's it.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
It's perfect for that. But for any other type of role and any other type of driving situation, it's not ideal.
Sounds like we're ragging on this thing, but it is a good, solid commuter car.
Yeah, I'm only like trashing it for its performance. And of course, Toyota isn't going for that.
No.
That's not what Toyota built this car for. They didn't build it to be a performance car. And like, you'd be dumb to think it is that.
Yeah.
And what Toyota built this for, it's exceptional. And that's why I'm a Toyota fan. I've always been a fan of Toyotas my whole life because of that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying a car just to get from A to B.
No.
I would say in the future, if they would just up the horsepower a little bit to make it a little bit safer getting onto the highway and getting up to speed, I think that'd be great.
And just a little more fun.
Just a little bit more fun. That wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, would not hurt to make this car just a tad bit more fun.
A little bit torquier
than it is. Yeah. How about this? If you've bought a Toyota Corolla because of a real life lore video, or because of somebody's comment on any education YouTube channel, including Second Thought or whatever, leave a comment and let us know.
Yeah, we will be amazed.
Because I'll be amazed. We will pin your comment. Guaranteed pinned comment if you say that you bought a Toyota Corolla.
Be honest.
And please be honest, because I'm serious. I will pin that.
Yes.
I will 100% pin you.
Oh boy.
So here we go, the 2017 Toyota Corolla LE.
Low energy
edition.
All right, let's start with performance. Out of 10. This is the most pathetic car I've ever driven in terms of acceleration. I'm gonna give it a 2 because it did get there eventually.
I'm gonna go with a 2.5.
It's not the worst car, it exists.
It's not the worst car, and there are definitely cars that accelerate slower and worse than 10.5 seconds even. And its top speed is what, maybe like, I don't know actually.
I don't know, I'd go 75 in this, but I think it'd be gutless after that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right.
Bad either way.
Bad.
Yeah.
Performance, not good. Practicality, on the other hand.
Practicality, this is gonna be definitely the Toyota Corolla's strongest attribute. 30 miles to the gallon. It has a very decent amount of space in the trunk. It can fit 2 of you. Honestly, I'd give this an 8, honestly.
Wow, that's really high.
On practicality.
I mean, it's very practical, I will say that.
Part of the reason why I give it an 8 also is because this is the most sold car ever, and so parts are really easy to find.
That is true.
So it's really cheap to replace parts and to fix broken stuff. It's always cheap.
That probably does deserve it. I'm gonna go 7.5 because I would like to see better gas mileage, but other than that, very practical car.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely a very practical car overall.
All right, value for money.
For just a few $1,000s more, like literally like
so many options.
For like $4,000 more than that, you could get the Toyota 86, the Subaru BRZ,
a Miata,
a
base Mustang.
For not much more, base Mustang or a base Camaro. But again, none of those are gonna be as practical as this, and they're not gonna be as reliable.
Completely different user groups.
I know, totally different things you're going for.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say this is still a pretty good value. Yes, it is cheap inside. The materials are cheap. It's cheap plastic, but it is a cheap car.
Yeah.
And it's gonna last you forever. I definitely give it a higher than average value. Honestly, I'd probably give it like a 6 on value. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I'm gonna give it a 6 as well. All right, cool factor, 1.
1.
Yeah.
Like,
trash.
Very quick.
Nobody will ever look at this car.
I know, no one will ever look at this. This is the most boring car ever made.
It's so boring.
It is the most boring car you can buy.
You walk outside ready to go to work, like, all right, I'm gonna... Quality.
Quality.
Not great.
It's not great, honestly.
Is it up to par for cars at the $19,000 range?
I think reliability-wise, absolutely.
Yeah.
Parts like how it feels inside, no. But again, like the reliability is so good on these things.
Yeah.
That's why I would give this, what is it, quality? I'd give it a 6 also.
Really?
A little higher, just because of how reliable it is.
I'm gonna give the quality, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Ooh.
It's really, like looking in there, the seats, that
I know,
fabric,
it is cheap feeling.
that, you could rip that easily. It's already stained in this one. The plastic is scratched.
Yeah.
And last but not least, fun factor.
Fun factor.
Did you have any fun at all driving this?
No, not really. The only fun I really had was talking about it.
Yeah, you can joke about it.
Joking about it was fun, but I mean, realistically, no.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
I'll give it, man, am I about to give it a 1 too?
You might be.
I think I'd probably give it a 1 also, which kind of hurts. It hurts me to say that. It really does.
So this is the least cool, least fun car we will probably ever review.
Because here's the thing, like, we can review some really bad cars, and I want to. Stuff like the Yugo or the Trabant.
Yes.
I want to review bad cars like that. And like, yes, those cars are inherently worse than this in every way.
Yeah.
But I think I may rate them, I may rate it a little higher on cool factor and fun factor because they're so bad. It's funny.
I agree.
Like, it's fun and you have fun to think about it.
But versus this, where it doesn't have any of those awful, atrocious qualities.
Yeah.
So you're just like, you can't even enjoy the bad stuff about this car because it's so overwhelmingly mediocre.
What's the final score? What do we got?
Final score.
Drum roll.
For the Toyota Corolla Low Energy
Is...
boop, 23.25.
23.25.
That's just brutal.
That's so much lower than the Viper. It's
lower than a 1993 Dodge Viper that's falling apart.
Yeah.
Well,
so that is the lowest scored vehicle we have ever reviewed.
That's pretty fitting for a meme car.
I think that's pretty fitting for a meme car.
You know where it's gonna be.
Yep.
We talk about the Corolla, that's where it lives.
And if you've watched our previous videos, you should have seen this coming. You should have expected that the Corolla would be down here about this low. Yep. So there you go.
Well, if this is your first video, thanks for coming to the channel. Thanks for watching the meme review that is the Toyota Corolla.
Yep.
Thank you, Joseph, for making me drive this awful car.
Any day, any day.
And I hope next week we'll have something a little bit more fun for you guys.
We'll definitely have something a little more fun next week. This was like just a meme video more than anything else. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Curiosity Stream, what are you doing here? Curiosity Stream is the world's first streaming service for people who actually like to learn stuff. They have over 2,400 documentaries and nonfiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers. If you like our show, you'll love their speed category. It's got a ton of content on cars and other things that go fast. Unlimited access starts at just $2.99 a month, and as a special offer just for Grand Theft Auto fans, you can get your first month free by following the link below. Curiosity Stream is available on just about every platform, so you'll always have access to the best nonfiction content. Sign up for your free trial by visiting curiositystream.com/GTA.